But I think I'm ready to go on some of these here with Ravens and Titans. I joined another channel this week in a show talking about uh, betting pools and picking up straight up winners. And well, if I picked the Tennessee Titans on that show to be, let me just clarify. I was on a show where the theme of the show was to win your office pool. So pick winner, pick winners. Oh, Ferner, do you have the totals? Oh man, I've already moved on to football, and now he's found the totals, and he's talking about the boss. Oh, that game. Okay, the Celtic game last night. All right, gotcha. Yeah, the under came in though, right? Or no? What was it? Went under in Boston, right? Oh, here we go. Ravens and Titans. Let's get started here. I've got to get these in, man. We're being here all day. Ravens here and Titans. So I was on that show, and there was a little bit of game theory, right? You got to pick a few upsets if you're going to win your office pool. Can't everybody be on the Ravens here. This game, of course, in London. We've talked about the massive run of unders right now in all these London games. The total here, 41.5. Well, I don't need to put the juice on this. I don't know. I must have just been looking at the screen. We don't put the juice on totals in other than baseball or hockey. That's just our philosophy. Ravens here and Titans here. So I'm going to be taking the Titans for sure. The Ravens here on, look, we're in London at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Remember, I did say that all the games in Tottenham Hotspur were going over, but we went under last game, and it went under. So under right now, Baltimore 1-4 to the under. Thus far, the Titans have gone also 1-4 to the under thus far. But I'm looking at the side here, and I'm going to take the Titans in this one. Yeah, they're at a low point to a certain extent, given their recent successes, and now they've kind of found, a little bit of tough sledding here of late. But you do have a coach who is pretty good, coming off a loss, 16-12 against the spread, and I would think that the Titans, if they can just prevent some of the woes that they've had in the second half, can certainly stay within a number here in this game, in what, I don't know, could be a low-scoring game. And that does often allow for the dog to have a little bit, plays into their hands a little bit. For Baltimore, let's see, Ravens 3-11 against the spread. Their last 11 on the road. I don't know if that interests you, because this is a neutral site game. I mean, they're definitely not at home. So, but again, if they were at home, they'd be favored. Here's the thing, right? You have a neutral site game. The Ravens are favored by 4.5. If this game was Titans at Ravens, would it really be? I don't know. We know that the home field, what is it? 2.5, 3 points. So tack on another point and a half. Do you have the Ravens by 6 over the Titans at home? You might, the way that the Titans have looked. But I still want to trust in the Titans program, if you will. And this matchup, right, it seems to actually play at least a little bit to some of Tennessee's strengths here. Baltimore seems to just get enough done, right? They just get enough done. Furter says Ravens minus 2.5 and under 44. You buy it down. And this is a type of betting that I actually like, making sure you have the best, if that's your side. I'm not saying, obviously I'm not on the Ravens, but make sure, give yourself the best chance to win. And if I'm taking the Ravens here, I'm doing something similar to that. And if I'm on the Titans, 4.5 is fine. But yeah, could I get to 6 at minus 180-ish? I could. no matter what. I mean, we're on the show here. I'm taking them 4.5. Heck, I said take them on the money line on that other show, and probably would. I probably would sprinkle the money line as well here in this one. I like the Titans. Um, One of the things about the Ravens and those division games are so tough, right? That sometimes the non-division, because with that rugged division, it pretty much does come down to just beating the division opponents. Yeah, you want to win some you want to win some of the others, but remember, look at how the season has started now with Cincinnati having the division losses early and being counted out a little bit. So Berner says that the Ravens need to get off cruise control, right? It seems like that's what hurts them a little bit. It's kind of like the basketball concept of standing around and watching Magic Johnson, and then you're not ready for the no-look pass with Lamar, right? How about these quarterbacks? I mean, we know Mahomes kind of started it a little bit, but the Tua, these no-look passes, and they had Magic Johnson commenting on it. I thought he could have did a better job of breaking it down. But of course, Magic Johnson has, as much as I love Magic, he has no clue on how to be a sports commentator, and that's why he's not doesn't do that job anymore. Good thing he's a CEO and a rich billionaire with a million Starbucks restaurants, because quite frankly, for as many great things as Magic Johnson has done in his life, sports commentating is not one of them. And you can tell by looking at his Twitter feed. Magic Johnson would say, he states the obvious, right? When you're looking for that little more insight. Give me the Titans here. We got to keep it moving. Commanders and Falcons. And I gave out the Falcons on that show as my straight up play. They are favored here by some points, 2.5. And obviously under a field goal, which also, catches my interest here a little bit. And for me on the total, you see it here at 42.5. There could be some points here. I mean, especially the way Washington's giving up points. And I don't know. One week we're making fun of Atlanta's offense, and the next week they, look like one of the best offense. I don't know what it is. I think we have a tendency with some of the quarterbacks, especially the ones like Ritter that aren't, part of those marquee draft choices and things like that. And Ritter's been around a year longer, but sometimes we don't know what we got, and sometimes maybe we give up on quarterbacks too early. Ritter's a guy where you could say, like, this guy will never develop, but then he comes out with some really decent numbers. The Washington's given up in the last 4 weeks. They are allowing an average, right now of 36 points a game. That's pretty brutal, actually, and you expect more from, from Washington's defense. They are 2-0 as a road underdog so far this season, and for all those points that they've given up, they scored 30 and 31 points in the last 2 weeks, lost both games. In the last 3 weeks, they've been outscored in the first half 53-20. Now, Atlanta, they've won all 3 home games so far. Now, they've been close, no doubt about it. In fact, they didn't let's see, they won by 14. They won by a point. They won by 2 points. And, so their 2 losses, they were dismal, but maybe they were playing decent teams. They also have been outscored in the first half 56-26. So I don't know. Does this game get off to a slow start when that happens? Combined, these teams have been outscored in the first half this season 109-46. What does that mean exactly? Does that mean they would give up a lot of points to their opposition or not score very many points against playing, I would guess, a similar team? I mean, the spread is closely rated. Could you believe the Falcons, if they win this game, they're 4-2. Now, Atlanta is usually very poor in closely rated games. In fact, when the spread is 3 points or less, Atlanta is 13-21 against the spread in their last 34 games with this type of spread. Atlanta has been a total under team of late. Like I said, I'm trying to talk up the over here more on this game. I'm giving out Atlanta because I don't want to take an over, but I feel like I have to. It's just that Atlanta's gone under in 11 of their last 13 and 4 of 5 so far this season. Furner's going over, it looks like, in this one. Washington has gone over in 3 of their last 4 games. And Washington's won the last 2 meetings between these two by 6 points and 4 points. And, these are conference opponents. They don't meet every year, so it's kind of a wide sample size here. I think this is over 10 years, but Commanders 4-1 against the spread in Atlanta. And I'm going to take Atlanta, though, and lay 2.5. Lay the money line to be sure. It's a free play here on the show, but I'm on Atlanta over the Commanders this week against retirement home run. Of course, I want Arthur Smith over Ron Rivera. I know everybody loves Ron Rivera. I like Arthur Smith. Did he make a mistake? Yeah, recently, yeah, but not worried about that. I like Arthur Smith. The Vikings are at the Bears here in this one, and is this a get-right spot for the Vikings? No, come on. It's not a get-right spot for the Vikings. This is where they lose. Come on. They opened maybe as high as 4.5 on a look ahead. They're down to 2.5 here. I don't care. The Bears have lost 4 out of 5, 9 out of 10, 20 out of 21. That's not what they've lost, but I'm just saying. Right now, the direction the Vikings are going and the way this league works, last year, Minnesota won all the close games. This year, they're going to lose all the close games, it feels like to me. Now, they do have a road win already. So, Minnesota, though, they were kind of good with turnovers last year. That helps you win close games. Well, this year they're minus 9 in turnovers, and they have 12 turnovers already. Now, Minnesota, they're terrific as a road favorite. But are we seeing the same Minnesota right now? They've covered 15 of their last 22 as a road favorite. The big news this week, Justin Jefferson, he's going to be out. At least for 4 games. He's on the IR, and that's a big deal for the Vikings and that offense right now. They're 1-4. It's not the same Vikings at all, or it is the same Vikings, and they're just not getting lucky. Here comes the regression. Here comes the variance. So Vikings have gone under their team total in 4 of their 5 games, and this total has been one of those big dropping totals this week, as I talked about yesterday. Now, granted, Vikings, the look ahead was 49. It actually, opened much higher than this, though, even. So the weather has had something to do with it. I'm sure that the bookmakers still may have made just a little bit of an error in their original opener of 49 or 48.5. It moved quickly because the Bears are giving up massive points, but these teams aren't very, very good. Even if you think about, Cousins, obviously missing a big time weapon now, and the Bears, come on. Even though they've given up 33 points a game, they are at home here at least. Look, they're not covering spreads. There's no doubt. They're not winning games. They're not covering spreads. We know that. I mean, Justin Fields, he got to win. So now his, career winning percentage is 20% in 30 games. So it's, that's not good. The Bears have been outscored in the second half this season 100-51. But this is the week. I'm on the Bears. Come on. Nobody's going to talk me off of this one. This is morning steam select. I'm pretty sure I'm on the Bears, even if no one agrees with me. I think I'm not supposed to use those on morning steam select. Dwight's on the Vikings. Thomas likes every play I'm putting in except for the Bears. I don't know if that's what he means, but Ferner says he likes this to be a 50-point game. See, I was thinking under all the way. I mean, I'm scared now because of the 44, but I'm probably still maybe won't be a premium now. It might. I mean, on an 8-game card, I'm probably going to have at least 5 premiums on an NFL card. That's the way I do business. So I've talk about some of our volume guys, but again, guys like myself, Pravi, Mindy, guys giving you the volume, you get your money's worth, and you're betting the card, and you're going to have more. What I feel is more success than betting one game, and you're not even getting. Hey, if coming in with premiums, 2 or 3 of them for the week, that's fine, but it's going to take you. There's only 18 weeks in the season. So you want sample size, right? How good are you? All right. But for me, so I was looking under in a Bears-Vikings game. Of course, I'm looking under. You know that. But again, here we are. It's a divisional game, right? The weather's supposed to be brutal. The Bears are at home. The grass is thick. The Bears know why they have 4-inch grass. They've got to try to even it out a little bit. So, or whatever that surface is. Looks slow to me. Anyways, for me, it's going to be an under in this. It's going to be the Bears for me. Whether or not I can get there with the under, it's a little bit uncomfortable because of the dropping total. But it is an NFL game. I mean, I've gone under lower than this. Give me the Bears this week. I love the Bears. Am I the only one in the world? I don't care. I'm taking the Bears. Seahawks and Bengals here now. The Seahawks will jump up and bite you just when you kind of count them out. But the Bengals they've got to be finding themselves a little bit. Look, the thing we talked about with Burrow was the obvious limitations with the calf injury. Now, I'm not David Chow. I can't look at a guy operating on the field and say he looks a lot, but when the doctors tell me that he looks like he's moving with that, now you can see he's not running or whatever. He looked better because he performed better to me. He threw for 317 yards. The Bengals are back on track, but when the doctor, they analyze and say, yes, you look at the way he's moving, and this doesn't appear. That's a fact. That looks like a fact to me. That the leg looks healthier immediately. So when you got a 3-1 Seahawks team coming in high on the hog, and you got a 2-3 Bengals team where everybody's already kicked them out of the playoffs, no. This is Bengals. Get right. It's got to be here. Jamar Chase, record-setting unbelievable performance. 15 passes, 3 touchdowns in the win. They had 3 touchdowns last week. They scored 3 touchdowns in the first 4 weeks. The Bengals are back home against Seattle. Look, we love Seattle. I'm a fan of Seattle. I think Carroll will be fine. Look, it's not. I'm a Geno guy. If a guy puts up numbers in the NFL, there's something to it. And for me, look, I don't have a problem with Seattle right now. And here we are. Aren't you watching me on family and friends texting again? I'm right here on Facebook. They don't even watch me. They have lives. So I like the Bengals pretty strong here. Feels like kind of my premium, my morning's team select here a little bit. Bengals 5-2-1. Last 8 games as a home favorite, 9-2 against the spread. Last 11 coming off a win. There's nothing. Yeah, maybe the Bengals, kind of fixing up the line a little bit, but those are all great numbers, really. And in a series where these two teams meet occasionally, I'm not too worried about the fact that the home team usually wins this series. But I will say this so far, the NFC West, the Niners, the 49ers, and the Rams, and and the Seahawks, the NFC West and Arizona. But the NFC West is doing very, very well against the spread outside of the division. 8-1-1 against the spread as arguably the best. Well, they are the best spread division in the NFL right now. But I'm not sure. Bengals, the Seahawks are actually coming off a bye, and I think it actually used to be Carroll's strong point. I should have went back and looked, but I know the last 3 years of Seahawks have lost off of the bye. So, and they're not great off of a win either. 10-15 against the spread, but 2-0 this year. So now let's just strike it from the record, Your Honor. So Bengals get to 500. Seahawks, if they win, they're 4-1. Do they feel like that team? They really don't, do they? Seahawks very, very good in these type of games, close spread games. 18-12, last 30 against the number, and Seattle has done their best work on the road so far. Of course, the upset win at Detroit as a 4-point dog, and of course, they smashed the Giants. So, were we really ready to throw out the Bengals with Thomas Lewis's bathwater? I'm taking the Bengals here. I took them on that office pool show that I did. Of course, I just had to take them on the money line. So maybe I'll just take them on the money line here. I like them to win, though. I'm taking them on the spread because that's what we do here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. Oh, one last note on the Seahawks and the Bengals here. This one's pretty significant. Not giving out the total here, and certainly want to try to hold my. I'm not the king of the unders. Actually, that belongs to another gentleman that gives out YouTube picks. But this one's a little bit interesting. So talking about those buys, right? And I believe the Bengals are on their bye next, and home favorites. Here we go. Let me see here. Home favorites before their bye week, if the total is above 42 points. So home teams playing expected to be in high-scoring games, have gone over the last 3+ seasons, 12 overs, 2 unders. So that's 3+ seasons, only a 14-game sample size, but home teams heading into their bye with a total over 42 for the game, and this one's 45, have gone 12-2 to the over. My first inclination to look at this game is, looking even at the market here at 45 now. It opened 44, went to 46, comes back down to 45, indicates kind of an under for me. And again, this one in Cincinnati, so that's not quite. The weather is just supposed to be a little bit kind of northwest from there, the bad weather that is expected throughout the week, but it is still going to be a little bit rugged, but we haven't seen that big totals drop like we did, in Chicago. Those cities aren't a million miles away, obviously, but that's kind of where the dividing point, I guess, might be. if you like the under, maybe there's some value to it. But that is an interesting trend to the over. All right, we got to wrap these up, man. I've been here a long time. 49ers and the Browns. We still got like oh, man, we got several more to go here. 49ers and the Browns. I think we don't have to talk too much on this one because the storylines are so obvious here. The Browns, we don't even know what's going on at quarterback. They could be down to the third string guy here going up against this massive juggernaut that basically cannot be stopped, especially if you're taking on the Cleveland Browns. Makes me harken back a little bit to the old days of the Niners, the relationship between the family, the families. And anyways, here are the 49ers. I'm taking them to roll. I mean, I'm on the 49ers here on this one. Do we have to break it down too much here? It's already up to 7. Could it go higher? Probably. It's already juiced here. I guess this could be a complete ultimate contrarian spot for the Browns, for someone who loves contrarian spots. I mean, this one's for you, I would think. The chat saying, Thomas saying open 4, open 5, whatever. The look ahead was even lower. I mean, I believe what I'm trying to think about what they call where, you have lines for every game at the beginning of the season. This one was San Francisco by 1.5. And the look ahead was kind of even at 2.5 before the last 2 weeks ago, I think. And then, we open, you get the 3s, the 4s, the 5.5s, now the 7s, where we get to 7.5. Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't the world just be pouring on the Niners? Yeah. Could this be a dead spot? To me, we don't know about the quarterback situation other than, Watson has a bruised shoulder. Could he play? He could play. TTR, ineffective, doesn't look ready. Could he play? Probably not. Could the third string guy get in there? Maybe. Cleveland's off a bye. They're 1-7 against the spread their last 8 years off of the bye. But they are also pretty good coming off of a loss, 7-2-1 their last 10. They're also 4-1 last 5 as an underdog. But it's just hard, man, right now with the Browns. Niners, they're averaging 35 points a game right now, seems like. So far, here's what they've scored: 30, 30, 30, 35, and 42 points. They're 4-0-1 against the spread. And Brock Purdy never loses. So, and they don't seem to care. They don't seem to worry about. I mean, you're never going to worry. You just want to win. But again, you get to that NFC West against non-NFC West teams are 8-1-1. That's got to be factored in a little bit here right now. Cleveland just 12 for 53 on third down so far. The Browns, when they won, they've been good, but they're expected to lose this game. And look at the total at 37. So I mean, even I can kind of make the calculation here. 20. What is that? 20. I say it, and I can't do 22 to 15. 22 to 15. 22 to 15. Now that's a score that can happen, but those are two oddball scores, 22 and 15. So it kind of sets you on a path to trying to figure out your best way to get. Because look, this game, Cleveland's going to have trouble, aren't they? They're going to have massive trouble scoring now. Like I said, this one is one of those weather games too. I don't know why that's Cincinnati, other than the fact that, it's Geno and Burrow. Maybe that's just it. And maybe that's why that total's higher. And then what I said also about, the tendencies of those home teams heading into bye weeks. I mean, I'm sure bookmakers aren't looking into that. But here you have a situation where this total opened 42 and has been just completely slammed. Yes, Cleveland does not have a quarterback this week. Cleveland, this game is weather, and the Niners are going to dominate. So 22-15 doesn't make any sense because that's not a real score. That indicates a score where the Niners are struggling to win, right? Because you've ended up on somehow the Browns, okay, maybe they kick 5 field goals. Maybe they miss an extra point. Maybe they go for 2. But if they're going for 2, then that means the Niners are stuck down there on like 14 or 15 and they went for 2 somewhere, like to score into the second half. So I'm just trying to play logically with you here as to why the total's 37 and the spread is 7. Now we know it's not going to land 22-15. Like I said, it could. But that type of score actually indicates, and I got this a lot from handicapping high school games where you can't put funky scores because they don't just go out there and kick the extra point every time. But usually if a team you're going to get more regular scores on a game that isn't as close. So 23-14 is a more logical score than 22-15. But you tell me the Browns, yeah, that defense is awesome, but if you can't keep your offense on the field, so 24-10, 24-14, 27-14. Anyways, I do like the under, but only because I don't know if Cleveland can score, and it's going to be hard because the Niners feel like they can do what they want. So give me the Niners here on the show. I do like this as kind of a premium here to a certain extent, and I might as well give them out because it feels too square to give as a premium. It really does. And not that, I feel like the spread's going to go. I feel like the spread's going to go much higher once the public really starts to weigh in. If Watson can get in there, that changes everything. But this shoulder injury, let me check what the officials or what the latest. I mean, you guys could probably tell me, but still questionable. So Myles Garrett's probable. That helps a whole lot. That helps a ton. I've got to take the Niners at this point on Wednesday at 11:30 in the morning Eastern. Thomas Lewis has it 42-0. But 42 might be okay as well. Ferner says I'll buy it down to 5.5, and I'll buy it down to 42.5. Buy it up. Yeah, we all know the Ray says they're looking good. Yeah, the Niners are the team. The Eagles are great. They were in the Super Bowl. The Chiefs are great. The Niners are the favorite. Make no mistake. I'll even click on the future. You probably have looked yourselves. They're 3-1 basically to win it all, and the Chiefs are 5.5-1, and the Eagles are 15-2. So the Niners are the favorite. We know that. All right, give me the Niners. Here we go. Got to go. Saints here against the Texans. And all right, so the Saints, things are going just swimmingly. They've been terrific. The defense is awesome. They're allowing just 15 points per game. They whacked New England, but who doesn't at this point? They only have 7 touchdowns on 53 drives. They're favored here by 1. It was as high as 2.5. I saw that Houston had maybe opened or had a look ahead anyway at -1. The Saints, one thing we know we're going to get with the Saints is a very close and exciting game. It feels like here, and I don't know. I kind of like home teams in situations like this, quite frankly. Houston's always good in these tight games, and look at how well their defense is playing. They've been dominant out there in the first half, outscoring the opposition over the last 3 games, 42-7. And they've got the better quarterback in this game. CJ Stroud's 2-3 as a starter. I don't care. I'm a believer. We're overhyping him at this point. We've actually probably given him too much credit, too much pub. But all we're asking is a quarterback to go out there and be consistent in his career. And right now, this kind of start to his career, which has been absolutely off the charts, gives you hope that, he already has it kind of figured out a little bit. Texans terrible coming off of a loss, but I'm not sure I'm too worried necessarily about this one. You got Stroud. He's averaging um, about 8.5 yards per pass attempt. Very acceptable right now in this situation. Houston's getting their weapons going a little bit. I think we've seen the potential of what they have. I took Houston on the show that I was on this week on the Office Pool Pick'em show, and I think they'll win. I think they'll beat New Orleans. New Orleans is coming in with a 3-2 record, and the Texans are 2-3. This is NFL football. The game is closely rated. I'm sorry that I'm dumbing it down so much. I want the home team. The Saints are 7-11 against the spread off of a win, which kind of counters that. That Houston doesn't bounce back that well off of wins. Now, one thing that Houston, it does concern me a little bit is third down conversion rate of the opponents. But the Texans defense is still looking pretty strong as a unit that's still kind of developing. Everyone seems to agree that Ryans is a great fit for this situation. And at that total at 42.5, I mean, come on. I don't have to tell you guys what I'm doing. I'm going to give out the side here on the show because I'm going to give out Houston. I like Houston for sure. But you do have some games where, to me, this one, we're getting into the buys now, and I do like some of these buy trends. And this would be one of them in this matchup. Of course, I'm already looking, kind of under here with a non-conference matchup. But over the last 4 years, home teams playing non-division underdog, home teams that are non-division underdogs before their bye week have gone under in 25 of the last 33 games. This is a 3+ year sample size. So basically out of the pandemic here, or, pandemic plus, and plus this season, plus 5 weeks. So 75%, or no, 77, doing the math in my head here, 77% to the under non-division home dogs before the bye week. Right now, Saints are a 1-point favorite. Some people may throw out that trend because it is so close. We'll see if you could even throw that one away if it becomes a pickup. But the Saints were, when I took the note, the Saints were a little bit more of a favorite, and they're still juiced as a 1-point favorite. Anyways, there's a couple of other scenarios where that a trend occurs. One of them I did mention, I didn't include it, was the Texans and the Ravens game. That stat also is in effect because I just ruled as a neutral site game, so you have an underdog, a non-division underdog before a bye week also in that one, which also trends heavily 75% to the under. So that's 3.5 year sample size. So I'm on here, the Texans, to win the game. And you guys here, you got, looks like buying some points here with the Texans and under for Ferner, under for Ray. Colts and Jaguars here in this one. The Jaguars, a pretty big favorite here with a -6-point favorite. And I don't know, pretty big number. We know the Colts are going to have to go with their backup here is Gardner Minshew. He's got a 9-16 record as a starter. One thing I did say on that picks show that I was on is I picked Jacksonville to win. Again, it was on the money line. It was a show that you pick your office pool. So I said, yeah, Jacksonville can win this game, of course. They won their 2 games in England. I do expect a little bit of a physical letdown for the Jaguars. Will that equate in the Colts covering the spread here at -4? Well, it was as high as -6. There does look to be some action here maybe on the Colts. at +4 right now, given this situation. Because for the Colts, look, if Richardson was in there, I'm on the Colts all the way. I might even take him on the money line. I'm not saying that Richardson is, but I like what he's done. I think he is going to be decent. I think he can be. Well, I don't actually think Richardson is going to make it in this league, but it's not because of his ability. But now that we've seen this injury has gone from in the last 24 to 48 hours. I don't know. Has it gone from 4 weeks to 8 weeks? Are we basically going to not see Richardson, until week 12, week 13? That's awful. Now, could do worse with Minshew, but again, Minshew's a guy I want to come into the game when my quarterback's gone down and I need a guy to rescue the team. I don't necessarily want him here to start the game, but Jacksonville is just such a bad home favorite. They're 1-7 against the spread at home in their last 8 games. It's a home favorite. So Jaguars very good in their wins, and those 2 losses, certainly they only scored 26 points. But I think the key that we saw last week was that Buffalo, like I said, we got the game wrong because I didn't know that Buffalo was coming in on a Friday. So Jacksonville ended up outgaining Buffalo on the ground 200 to 30, basically is what it was. Hey, I got breaking news right now in the National Football League. And let's get it to you right now. Maybe you've already caught wind of it. And let me see if the line's even moving, because it is a big one. And you want to get ready right now if you're interested in this game, because I don't think the line has started to move. It's probably because it's a big line. Travis Kelce is going to be upgraded to probable for tonight's game against Denver. Hey, get her on the phone. Is she already en route? Was she already coming? Travis Kelce is expected to play tonight with that ankle injury against Denver. This total, it's funny. I just looked at the board, and the total actually has gone down by 0.5 point. Now, I don't know what that means here, but I see circa at 46.5, like they got it backwards. I've seen the line service have the report wrong before. Am I making a big deal out of this and they got it wrong? Anyways, the reports just come through that Travis Kelce's probable, and the total dipped 0.5 point here. I would expect the total to go up. I would expect Kansas City to go up just slightly here. In a big spread like this, even a top-rated player maybe would only affect this by 0.5 point or 1 point, I would think. And the same with the total. But that one just coming across the high-speed sports wire here. All right. So Kelce probable tonight. And just want to continue on here with the football coverage on Sunday with the Colts and the Jaguars. And we were getting, everything that I've given out so far here kind of has put me on the Colts with Minshew. They have some things going for them when they're 9-5 against the spread. Their last 14 on the road, and that hasn't been Richardson. That goes back to kind of last year with a hodgepodge of personnel and coaches and everything that was going on with the Colts last season. I mean, they've had a different quarterback every year for the last, 5, 6, 7 years, it seems like. And now we've got the stash. So one thing about this Colts team is they do score points, whoever's been in there. They just a little bit of problem defensively here. So even I can't just immediately, go in on the under in this one. This one might get some over attention. Whether or not it'll be the pick, I don't know. It's going to be the Colts for me. I think I'm already missing out on some of the best value. And don't think that I picked the Jaguars on that other show on the money line to win the game and the Colts plus the points. This one's going to be, I would imagine, coming down to the wire. That last game where all the games are wrapped up, and this one's still hanging out at, 21-21 with just a couple minutes left. Panthers and Dolphins. And the Dolphins juggernaut of a team. Wouldn't be interesting. We talked about the Super Bowl contending teams. We're not leaving out the Dolphins in the AFC. The Dolphins and the 49ers played a famous, it wasn't close, but it was a famous Super Bowl because Dan Marino was in that one. And anyways, could it be the Niners and the Dolphins in the Super Bowl? Wouldn't that be fun? The Dolphins here, huge favorites at 13.5 now. The early look ahead, the preseason line was 7. The early look ahead line was 10.5, but we're dealing with a big number here now with the way things are going with the Dolphins and this incredible team and offense. The Dolphins have won and covered 4 of their first 5 games. Yeah, they have a loss in there. McDaniel, Coach Logic, he's 6-2 against the spread as a home favorite. The Dolphins are 22-12. Their last 34 games against the spread off of a win. Now, they're laying a huge number here for sure in this one. And, for good reason. Bryce Young in his 4 starts at Carolina, they average under 5 yards per pass attempt. One of my most important statistics, yards per attempt. And Young's down there right now. I'm still okay with Young. I'm putting him on that list. I keep saying I like the rookie quarterback, and I do like Young. But, funny now to hear the talk this week about the problems with the Panthers and coach coming out saying, we're having some tough meetings in there, and sounds like maybe the coaching staff wanted CJ Stroud, but the pressure was on from the owner to take Bryce Young, and now the owner comes in there and says, you had the number 1 draft choice with Bryce Young. Why can't we win now? Not even thinking that it takes years sometimes to not only develop a quarterback, but to develop a winning culture. And the Panthers have problems right now administratively with finger pointing and all that. They're 0-4-1 against the spread to go along with their 0-5 record. Probably should have Dalton in there at this point if you want to compete, but that's maybe not what the owner wants to see. I got you this, we got this quarterback, like they don't even understand how football works to a certain extent. Like I said, rookie quarterbacks, they start the season, they don't finish the season. Usually by week 3, week 4, week 5, they're out. And some of them never come back. Now, sometimes you go out, you bring that veteran in, a guy like Andy Dalton. Look, we all have our issues when we bet on Andy Dalton at this point of our lives. But if I'm a football team and I'm 0-5 and I'm trying to win football games and I got an owner, now here's the problem. The owner's telling you play this guy. Carolina's 6-11. Their last 17 games as a road underdog, including already 0-3 so far this season. They're a team that gets very, very tired in the second half. They've been outscored 85-45. Carolina also 8-16-1 against the spread. Last 25 games coming off of a loss. Dolphins have scored an incredible 24 touchdowns on 54 drives so far this season, many of them from dialing up long distance. At home so far, just 2 of the 5 games have been at home, and at home, 14 touchdowns on 23 drives so far for these Dolphins. So it's going to be hard to not want to just take the Dolphins. This is an NFL football game, but man. Now, this could be characterized as another one of those non-division underdog games. I think I called them home underdogs earlier. It's just not the home underdog percentage is slightly higher, so that maybe that's why I clarified that. But non-division underdogs in general, they are the ones that are on that 75% under trend. Non-division underdogs before the bye week. And you have that here with the Panthers. The Panthers are on the bye. next week. So could they mail in this game, go 0-6 and say, let's regroup? We're playing the Dolphins, or can they, if it's a low scoring game, that does favor their chances, I would think, to possibly cover here. But again, look at the total, in this game is pretty high at 48 because of the Dolphins. So again, 8-25 to the under. I guess that's 76%, right? 8-25 to the under non-division teams heading into a bye. Lay the big number. Okay, Ferner, I will. I'll just take the Dolphins. Hopefully it doesn't go over 14. Yeah, I'll take 13.5 for sure. Yeah, 14 is more key than 13, but sure. But you know what? 12.5 feels a lot more comfortable than even 13. Dolphins and under for Thomas. And just like the other way, too. I mean, if I'm on the Panthers, I want 14.5. And I'll buy it up on an NFL game. All right, give me the Dolphins here in this one. I can't do it right now with the Panthers. 14's a lot. This is a free pick on the show. It's not going to be raised. Yeah, first half. Why not? I just told you, right? Just told you about those very, very poor starts poor finishes for Carolina. But also want to mention the Panthers 9 of 15 on third down with Young, but 10 of 9 on third down with Dalton. But they don't listen to that. They don't pay attention. Those guys, the owner's not watching the show.